Good morning, everyone. It's Sal, Stretford Post. How you all doing? And welcome to another episode of Breaking Dawn. Hope you're doing good. Hope you're doing fine. Thank you so much for joining me. It is Friday, guys, and welcome, guys, to Stretford Post, guys. The only place to be, 7 a.m. UK time in the football hemisphere, guys. Thank you so much for joining me. Before I start, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to smash a like on the video, all that jazz. That'd be absolutely fantastic. If you guys can do that for me, that'd be absolutely brilliant, guys. Let's get straight into a bit of news. But first, before I start, I just want to say congratulations to Nottingham Forest, who had a magnificent 3-0 win away to Fenerbahce last night. Unbelievable result that was. Away to Turkey in Istanbul. It's always a difficult place to go. And again, Elliot Anderson, another man of the match display. Just to let you guys know, we're chasing Carlos Baleba, who we are hoping is going to come good, where Elliot Anderson has got another man of the match display in a difficult place in Europe, guys. So 3-0 win for Nottingham Forest, fantastic. But Elliot Anderson is a star, and we know that he is, of course. And you know what? We can't let him go to Manchester City. We're resting, or we're putting all our eggs in the Baleba basket, Manchester United. Obviously, Man United are speaking that they're not concerned about Elliot and about Carlos Baleba's performances. I mean, I think that is the most stupid thing I've ever heard. How can you not be concerned about performances at the end of the day? Because we can easily look at this and say, look, you know, Evan Ferguson, you know, was a brilliant player for Brighton for a period of time and disappeared into the abyss. It doesn't matter how good you are last year. It matters how good you are now. And I think that Man United really need to concentrate on getting Elliot Anderson and stop thinking about players who are going to be easy to sign rather than the players who are going to be help Manchester United actually succeed and actually challenge for this Premier League, which Elliot Anderson is going to do, of course. Look, at the end of the day, Man United are not in a position to be waiting around for players to come good. You know, we can't be doing that. This is, you know, at the end of the day, we're not that far away, but we do need players that are going to actually make a huge difference and actually can be on par or better than Casemiro, of course, which I don't think Carlos Baleba is at the moment. But let's get into some transfer news, guys. Excuse me. Let's get into some transfer news. In regards to Yan Diomande, apparently rumors are spreading that Yan Diomande's price tag has turned from £87 million to £50 million. Guys, for whatever reason, the price tag has been lowered. According to Ben Jacobs, the price tag for Yan Diomande has been lowered. Of course, £87 million, about 100 million euros was the asking price a few months ago. Now it is down to around £50 million. But what does that mean? Is that a tactical ploy from Leipzig? Is that a tactical ploy? Are they trying to lure people in? For example, potential suitors for Yan Diomande, clubs coming in with 50 million, 55, 60, 65, that sort of thing. Maybe they're going on an auction kind of thing, because it's quite obvious that not many teams were going to pay 100 million for Yan Diomande. Absolutely not, because a very talented player, but the guy's playing in the Bundesliga, guys. You know, it's not the Premier League. The Premier League is a different kettle of fish. He's not worth 100 million. I would say that 50, 60 million would be sufficient for him. It would be the right price for Yan Diomande. I'm a huge admirer of his. I think he's a fantastic player. And he can play in that left wing position. And I think it'd be brilliant for our squad. But again, I do reiterate, and I'm going to say this very, very clearly, guys. Yan Diomande is a luxury player for Manchester United. It's not to say that we don't need a player like Yan Diomande, but we need midfield first. We need to concentrate on the midfield. And if we're just talking about Yan Diomande because he's our favorite player, it just shows the lack of IQ. We don't need Yan Diomande right now. We've got Dorgu, we've got Cunha, we've got Bremo, we got Ahmad, we got Fernandes. We got all those players who can play in the attacking period. And we're not bad at creating chances, guys. We're not, guys, at the end of the day. And we're not that bad at scoring either. It's the midfield that is the problem. And that is the problem that we should address before anything else. We should be looking at Elliot Anderson right now and saying that Elliot Anderson should be the top priority. And that's not to say that we get Elliot Anderson and don't get anyone else. Of course, we have to get about 3 or 4 midfielders, guys. Absolutely. Like, I don't mind getting Baleba if he's 40 million and we've already got Anderson through the door and Stiller through the door. Absolutely. Speaking about Angelo Stiller, Manchester United have declared that Angelo Stiller could be one of the priority signings in the summer. Manchester United are very impressed with the 24-year-old's performances over this last year, as we've been speaking on Stretford Post for a very, very long time. The central defensive midfielder has come on leaps and bounds the last couple of years with 5 caps for Germany, guys. An absolute game changer in regards to it, guys. Going to be a future superstar. I think he's going to be the next Tony Cruz, in my opinion, guys. and he's only valued at £45 million. So Man United could possibly do a deal for around, let's say, £55-60 million. Guys, probably 50 plus incentives, something of that ilk, to be honest with guys. Absolutely. So Angelo Stiller has been seen as a priority target for Manchester United. Now, I agree with this. I like Angelo Stiller. I think he's brilliant. Is he on the level of Elliot Anderson? Probably not. Obviously, he's playing in the Bundesliga. Elliot Anderson's killing it in the Premier League and in Europe. So obviously, we have to look at that very, very subjectively and objectively and say that, yeah, Angelo Stiller is brilliant, and I wouldn't mind him at Man United, but I would like Anderson and Stiller, that kind of thing. Angelo, I want both of them. I think that's what Man United need, especially if Man United are in the Champions League. And I think Angelo Stiller will be a game changer. I think he's a brilliant player. And I think Angelo Stiller should be a priority for Man United, as should Elliot Anderson as well. Those two players signing for Manchester United will make a monumental difference to where we are. Guys, I guarantee you, if Angelo Stiller and Elliot Anderson were playing for Man United right now, Man United would be challenging for the league. It's that deep, guys. It's that deep. They will be challenging for the league. Absolutely. Because they are two players that are consistent. They're mentality monsters. And they're versatile, as well. And they can play various positions and stuff like that. Absolutely. One player in regards to a player that we've been linked to in the past that we've been speaking about for many, many years, it seems, is Ousmane Dembele. Now, Ousmane Dembele is a 28-year-old PSG player, fantastic winger. Of course, we know how good Ousmane Dembele is. 57 caps for France, 7 goals. He can play on either wing. He's a good attacking midfielder, can score goals. Brilliant player. Apparently, Man United have inquired about the possibility of signing Ousmane Dembele. Now, of course, we're bringing in Yan Diomande and bringing Ousmane Dembele into the same equation here. Ousmane Dembele is a winger. Yan Diomande is a winger, right? We've got Ahmed on that side. We've got Cunha on the other side. We've got Embremo. We got Fernandez, and we can't forget about Shea Lacey as well. And this is what's very, very important. We can't forget about the players that are coming through our ranks as well, like Shea Lacey, So Ousmane Dembele, apparently PSG are looking to sell Ousmane Dembele. Apparently they're looking to cash in on one of their prize assets. And Ousmane Dembele might seek a new challenge in regards to going to the Premier League. Has done incredibly well at PSG, having sort of flopped at Barcelona. Didn't quite work out. But then again, when you look at Barcelona, who does really work out for Barcelona at the end of the day? Not many players go to Barcelona and set the world running, do they? They set the world alight, do they? At the end of the day. But Ousmane Dembele, 28-year-old PSG, the problem is obviously his price tag. His price tag is astronomical. He shouldn't be 100 million now, and Man United shouldn't be paying that money for him. Absolutely not. So that could be the stumbling block in regards to that. But the fact that Ousmane Dembele could be leaving PSG has alerted Manchester United officials in regards to the transfer. Now, obviously, I'm not going to look at things blindly. I do understand that some players do create these rumors to kind of attract a new contract. They might be fishing for a new contract. This is a very important thing as well. Some players fish for new contracts. So obviously they say, well, I'm looking to leave and stuff like that, etc., 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 if you know what I mean. So I would say that, yeah, Ousmane Dembele, I think the ship sailed in regards to that. I think the ship sailed in regards to Ousmane Dembele. Brilliant player. But you know what? If we're going to sign an attacker, it would be for me, Yan Diomande, someone like that, who has a ceiling, who's younger, of course. That's what I would, in my preference, would be. Guys, even though the midfield should be the priority at the moment. Absolutely, guys. But linked to a lot of players, again, but a lot of these players are recycled. A lot of these players are names that we've been mentioning for months and months and months, guys. It's some of them a year. So Angelo Stiller, Elliot Anderson have been on Man United's radar for a while. We've been speaking about Angelo Stiller and we've been speaking about Elliot Anderson for a long time. It's a no-brainer. Elliot Anderson and Angelo Stiller should be playing for Manchester United. Now, look, if Manchester United do go for Baleba, which I do believe they're going to go after Baleba because Baleba's easy, Baleba's desperate, and it might even be a little bit more cheaper. Elliot, I would say that if Man United signs Angelo Stiller, Elliot Anderson, and Carlos Baleba, I applaud you. I would applaud you. But if they just sign one, like a Baleba, and then get a right back or something like that, and then don't get anyone else, then I wouldn't applaud you. Of course I wouldn't. I'd be concerned about everything. Of course, guys, I would. Because at the end of the day, when we're looking at that midfield, we're losing Casemiro, we'll probably lose Ugarte as well. Collier is going to be out as well, guys. Kone's not quite doing the business. So what we got to do, we got to bring in 3 or 4 midfielders. 3 or 4. Guys, midfielders, and that's the minimum, because the midfield is the engine of the team. The midfield is where games are won and lost. Everyone knows about football. If you win the midfield battle, you more likely win the game. And we haven't had a consistent midfield for a long time. We've got Casemiro, who's on his last legs, holding things up at the moment. Holding things up for dear life at the moment. And he's doing very well, Casemiro, to be honest with you. But one injury to Casemiro, I know we can't do anything about it this season, but one injury to Casemiro, it's game over, guys. I'm not exaggerating. It's game over. So this is something that we should have done in the summer. We all earmarked Angelo Stiller in the summer, mentioned him on Stretford Post, way before people were mentioning him, of course. And also, of course, Yan Diomande. And we should have got these deals done a long time ago, guys. And Anderson and players like that, of course, of that ilk. You know, we need to have our ear to the ground in regards to transfers. We need to look at talent for what it is. Absolutely. Let me just say hello to the community. Guys, before you start, please don't forget to smash a like on the video, guys. Smash a like on the video. Don't forget, we need to get up to 50 likes, guys. Guys, please, if we can get 50 likes before breaking dawn. That's the fierce hoe, guys. Guys, big up everyone. My comment has been marked down as spam. That's funny. I like peeps. There we go. Is that better? Is that better? I don't know why it's not going through. Anyway, big up everyone in the stream. Hope you're doing well. Good to see Benny. Big up, Benny. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Really good to see you, brother. Hope you're doing good. Happy Friday to you, my friend. Guys, big up everyone, of course. Big up Sam. How you doing, my friend? Good. How are you? I'm good. Thank you, mate. Big up yourself, Sam. If United seriously want Diomande, they can use Ahmed to convince him to come, and I believe Ahmed will be good to do that. I agree with Sam here. I think if they want Yan Diomande to come to Manchester United, you can utilize Ahmed, who obviously both pay for the Ivory Coast, of course. So they could both, Ahmed could obviously persuade Yan Diomande to come. It's a bit like who persuaded Lenny Yoro? Lenny Yoro was is persuading Carlos Baleba to come, obviously, because they both play for Lille, of course, guys. So that could happen. And obviously, you know, if we're going to sign Yan Diomande, we can utilize Ahmad in the right way, of course. Absolutely. United should get the start the legwork now for any players we need in the summer to make it easier for us. I agree with Sam here. We can't be resting on our laurels because we're going to miss out on players, of course, like Elliot Anderson. Elliot Anderson, another fantastic performance last night. He's going to go to Man City if we're not careful because we're taking too much time, guys. Too much time to do these deals. We need to move forward. We need to move quicker in regards to these deals because if we don't, Man City are going to get Elliot Anderson. Man City are going to get Yan Diomande. Man City are going to get Adam Wharton, or even Man City get Carlos Baleba. Who knows, guys? But we need to get the ball rolling and we need to get it moving. I do believe they got the ball moving in regards to Carlos Baleba somewhat, of course, guys. Sam, if we could get Stiller, Tonali, or Anderson with Hackney and Bruno stays, that will be great. I'm not a big fan at the moment of Hackney. He's playing in the Championship. I don't think he's going to help Man United. Absolutely not. I've watched him. I don't think he's going to be good enough for the Premier League at the moment. He needs to go to another Premier League club. He needs to go to a Bournemouth or something before he goes to Man United. But however, Tonali, Anderson, Stiller, all three of them need to come. Not one of them, three of them. One, we only got Mainu. Next season, we'll only have Mainu. We need about three. Good morning, Ephraim. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you, my friend. Good to see you again. Anderson mostly go Man City. He will go Man City if Man United don't get a move on. He will go to Man City because Man City, I bet you Man City be looking at that Fenerbahce game last night and thinking, wow. Guys, listen, let me just tell you something about players with a mentality. Players with a mentality. Players who could walk into an international game and look like they've been there for 10 years. Elliot Anderson. Players who can play away in Turkey at Fenerbahce. If Man United beat Fenerbahce 1-0, I'd be like, wow, good result. They beat Fenerbahce 3-0 in Istanbul, guys. Right? And Elliot Anderson was the man of the match. That is mentality up there. Not getting hooked off after 20 minutes and hoping he comes good. Fingers crossed he's going to come good. That's what we're talking about. Mentality monsters. That's what Manchester United need. Mentality monsters. They need the likes of Elliot Anderson. That's what they need. They need these type of players at Man United. Absolutely. How you doing, Shoes Daily? Good to see you again, my friend. Good to see you. And big up, Max. How you doing, my bro? How you doing? Hope you're doing well. Big up, Salam alaikum and Salam Ramadan Babarak to everyone that is participating in Ramadan this year. And big up, Irfan. I hope you're doing well. Good to see you, brother. And Gregory, good to see you, my friend. Hope you're doing well, my friend. Good to see you, mate. Good to see you again. And greetings to Verno. What's going on, my friend? Vino, is that how you pronounce it? Vino Mani. Good to see you again, my bro. Good to see you, brother. Good to see you again. Apparently, Elliot Anderson is still on, and it's an open race with Baleba. They think they fit the system. I'm not bothered about systems. I think great players play in any system. Great players play in any system. Great players don't get hooked off of Brighton after 20 minutes. Great players don't do that every single week. Great players do what Anderson did in a struggling Nottingham Forest side and exert themselves, show themselves what they are. Man of the match display away at Fenerbahce. Guys, Fenerbahce are a proper European side, guys. And they went there. I was looking at that game yesterday, guys, and I thought, oh, Fenerbahce are going to do them. Fenerbahce are good. This, that. But look at that. Look at that. Straight away. Man of the match display. Unbelievable. And that's what we need to do. We need to stop concentrating on what's easy, right? Because obviously the players like Baleba are desperate to come and start getting players that are actually going to change Manchester United significantly. You know what I mean? They think he will fit a professional-based system. It's bollocks. Irfan, big up Reds, big up everyone, of course. Big up Irfan, of course. Baleba will be expensive. Baleba at the moment is not worth 35 million at the moment when you're looking at him. You know, people were downplaying Conor Gallagher the other week. But you know what? He's worth that. He's worth about 30, 40. That's what he's worth, in my opinion. At the moment, we have to be realistic. We need to see how Wharton and Anderson are able to do when they play in a team which dominate possession. It's true, but at the end of the day, I've seen Anderson play for England, who dominate possession. I've seen Wharton play for England when they dominate possession, and they were fabulous, Fino. They were brilliant. Have you seen them play for England? England dominate games. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Pushing that ball forward, number 8 position, getting into positions, creating chances, this and that, you know? Absolutely. I'm quite bewildered that people think Baleba is an automatic replacement for Casemiro. The excuse is possession football, which incredibly is not that. That's a low IQ, isn't it, Irfan? That's exactly what I'm talking about. Look, I have respect for people like Baleba because I liked Baleba. I was forced into liking Baleba a year ago. But we have to look at things subject. I'm looking at, guys, let me just tell you something about me, right? I'm looking at Carlos Baleba every single week. I'm like, please, Baleba, show me something. Please, show me something. Show me something that help me to help you. Help me to help you sort of thing, you know? Jerry Maguire, you remember that? So I would say that Carlos Baleba, his performances are not that which is worthy of taking a risk. And we're not taking a risk here on 20 million here, 25 million. Where this is not a Senny Lamens risk. This is 65 million, 70 million plus. You know, this is what we're talking about, guys. And Man United need to be very, very smart with this. Now, look, if Man United went out and bought Elliot Anderson, Man United went and bought Angelo Stiller or Tonali, and then bought Baleba, okay, because then Baleba could be nurtured by Tonali and he can be nurtured by Anderson. Baleba comes into this football team as a number 6 kind of thing. Who's he got? Just Mainu next to him. You know, and that's it. And that's it. And then he's going to be left with the responsibility of being that anchor in midfield and being that man in midfield, the Roy Keane in midfield. Do you trust him to do that? If his head has been turned, do you trust him to do that? And what it doubled down on me last night in regards to Fenerbahce and Nottingham Forest, what it doubled down on me is that Anderson is a proper player. And that's why I said he's a proper player. You know, and I think that Nottingham Forest do have a few proper players. Gibbs is a proper player for me. I think he's a good player. There's a few of them. You know, Igor Jesus, another player, guys, who they got for cheap from another good player. You know, they do find good players. But Anderson, for me, yeah, definitely number 1. We need characters in midfield, not just talent. Yes, and Anderson is that. Absolutely. And Baleba showed a lack of character, hasn't he? By not performing for Brighton. Big up, Geordie. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well, man. You're trying to look at Bodo Glimt players, watch them. You know what? That's a good point, Geordie. You know what? I would say that. Because back in the days, back in the 90s, Manchester United used to look at Scandinavia quite potently. We used to look at Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, Ronny Johnson, Henning Berg. Of course, we used to look at these players, Erik Nevland, and obviously a lot of players from Scandinavia. And for some reason, Man United had this really good relationship with Norway and with Sweden, with Denmark and this and that. And every player, majority of the players that have come through Denmark, Norway, Sweden have been successful for Manchester United. Now, when you think about Peter Schmeichel, Henning Berg, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, of course, yes, you get the odd Erik Nevland and players like that who haven't done quite as well as we would have hoped. Even when Heinrich Larsson walked into Man United on loan, he done well, didn't he? It's just something about Man United and Scandinavia which just goes hand to hand in regards to that. And I absolutely agree. Bodo Glimt have got a player that used to play for AC Milan. They've got a few players in there, a few journeymen in their team that used to play at various other big clubs and stuff like that. But again, it's not just about talent. It's about the balance of their side. The balance. Every single player in their team knows what they're doing. Every single player in their team has got the same focus and the same goal. And I'm very impressed with Bodo Glimt. I watched them against Man City. I've done a watch along against Man City, and they could have won 6-1, guys. I'm being honest. Right? They could have won 6-1. I was shocked by Manchester City, but you have to give credit to Bodo Glimt now. You have to understand now, Bodo Glimt are a good side, and you have to show them the respect. Absolutely. And we should be looking at players like Bodo Glimt. I absolutely agree with that, Geordie. Shoes. So Baleba might be phased out due to price. Not price. No. Performances, mate. Performances. Man United don't mind paying 60 million for Carlos Baleba if his performances have been up to scratch, which they haven't. They've been awful. He's been one of the worst performing midfielders in the league. He's honestly, guys, listen. If I told you right now, would you get Alex Scott from Bournemouth or would you get Baleba? I would go after Alex Scott. I'm not looking at it because, and I'm talking on a level of a fan of Baleba. I'm a Baleba. I was a Baleba. I was thinking I put Baleba on my thumbnails more than any other player I've put on the thumbnails. Honestly, at the end of the day. So look, I'm looking at things. What is best for Manchester United? What's best for them? Now, Ben Jacobs was speaking, obviously, yesterday on United Stand. And obviously, Ben Jacobs is a friend of the show, friend of the channel, been on the channel a couple of times. Now, what I would say about what Ben said, and it did give alarm bells. It did raise red flags that Man United are not bothered about, his performances because they believe he's going to come good. You know what? If I had wheels, I'd be a bike. At the end of the day, that's what I would say. What I've seen and what I look at from a footballing guy's point of view, I'm a football man and I've been watching Man United 40 years. I've been watching Man United longer than them lot, you know what I mean, who own the football club. And I would say that looking at him and analysing him, he's not got it there, right? He's not got it there. Let's say down the line, let's say we sign Carlos Baleba. Carlos Baleba does well for Man United, fantastic. Then Real Madrid come called in and then he down tools for Man United, Need to see Yande Amande develop more. Look at Gomez. No one is going for him now. His European performance looks like a blip. This is exactly what you've got to be careful of, Vino. You've got to be careful of performances because performances equate to a mentality as well. Of course, guys, I do look at things in context as well. I do look at things from other points of views. You can stay at a club too long. You can. For example, Nico Williams has been at Athletic Bilbao for a very long time, as with most Athletic Bilbao players. Obviously, they're all Basque, of course. But what I would say is that you have to look at performances and you have to analyze performances and you have to understand why are certain players getting their price being reduced, and you have to look at that. Even Baleba's price has been reduced, but I think Brighton has shown a little bit of petulance. I think Brighton has shown a little bit of, how would you say, arrogance. I would say arrogance, so to speak. I think they're in denial. And they realize that Baleba is not the player that they think he is. That's why they've reduced his price from about 40%. Because in the summer, Carlos Baleba was talking about 115 million euro fee. This is what we're talking about. I bet they wish they sold him now, don't they? Absolutely. Apparently, Real Madrid moved away from moving forward. Yeah, because of the manager change. They moved away from him. That's why. And they wanted to see what they wanted to bring in a new manager before they analyze Angelo Stiller any transfers. They also moved away from Adam Wharton as well because they're not looking at players at the moment. They're looking at replacing the manager and see what has happened. Blair do not fit in United style of play. DNS. Besides, he has been piss poor ever since. Absolutely, fan. We have to agree. Unfortunately, imagine a starting lineup with United with good players at every position who would also be good enough to start at nearly every other EPL club along with depth on our bench. What would that be like? It's not that far away, Gregory. I actually think that Cunha and Bremo are two of the best attacking players. Guys, I'm not going to be overreacting here. But I actually think Mbeumo and Cunha are two of the best attacking players in the Premier League. I believe that De Ligt is one of the best defenders in the Premier League. I think Lamens is one of the best goalkeepers in the Premier League. I think Sesko is one of the best up-and-coming strikers in the Premier League. I believe Aiden Heaven is one of the best up-and-coming defenders in the Premier League, as is Lenny Yoro. And I think Dicho Martinez is probably the best defender in the league. And guys, people can quote me on that. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day, I think Man United have got a lot of good players. However, we miss out in key areas. The midfield, right? Yes, Casemiro is one of the best CDMs in the Premier League. Mainu's one of the best up-and-coming players in the Premier League. But Casemiro's on his last legs. Our fullbacks are poor. Unless we got Dorgu there, Dalot is not good enough. Shaw is not good enough. So Dalot and Shaw already need to be leaving the football club. So those two players there need to be replaced, And we have to look at things objectively, right? We've got someone, if we fixed our midfield, and I'm not even saying get 10 players here. I'm saying if we got an Angelo Stiller, Elliot Anderson, right? We've got two 2 midfielders in there, and then we got a couple of fullbacks as well, and a backup striker. In Anna Yandi Amande. It's not that far away that Man United won't be challenging for the league, because when you look at things and you look at things in an objective way, and you think about the games that Man United have drawn, the games that Man United have lost, we could have easily converted those draws into wins and those losses into draws. And we could be easily 8 to 10 points better off, and that is minimum, guys. If we fix that midfield, because at the moment we're doing it with 2 hands tied behind our back. It's 2 hands tied behind our back FC at the moment. That's what we're doing, Absolutely. Dembele wages will be astronomical. They will. I can't see us going for him. Absolutely, guys. Absolutely. Calvin Phillips, also good in a small team. And England look at him after being Man City X. I'm not sure about that, mate. He's gone. He's finished. I didn't rate him at England either. He was rubbish. Irfan, the Premier League, he's probably one of the reasons England didn't win anything. This Premier League proven cliche is nonsense. Alex Ferguson used to buy Premier League proven players. It helps, right? But it's not the absolute. It's not that, because they're Premier League proven, we don't sign any players from Europe. Alex Ferguson signed Peter Schmeichel. Alex Ferguson signed Ruud van Nistelrooy. Alex Ferguson signed Jaap Stam. Alex Ferguson signed Juan Sebastian Veron. Alex Ferguson signed, Cristiano Ronaldo from Sporting. All of these weren't Premier League proven players at the end of the day. All that matters in football is if they're good enough. That's it. They're good enough, and we have to study the player properly and make sure that player's got the right mentality, etc., etc. All that matters is if the players are good enough. You're good enough, doesn't matter where you're from. Yes, it helps sometimes to have a spine of Premier League proven players like Steve Bruce, Gary Pallister, Michael Carrick, Andy Cole. These type of players. Dwight York, great players, of course. These type of players. Rio Ferdinand, good. They help. Premier League proven, it helps, but it's not the absolute be all and end all. It's not. It's important to have some Premier League players in there, but not everything has to be Premier League proven. At the end of the day, as I've just mentioned, the players I've just mentioned, there are some players out there that are absolutely exceptional players that you look at and think, bring him in. Even no matter Angelo Stiller, for example, he plays in the Bundesliga. Yeah, Yandi Amando plays in the Bundesliga. You look at these players. You look at Kone, he plays for Roma in the Serie A. You look at Nico Williams, and you look at all these players that I've been mentioning for time and time again, and you think they're not Premier League proven. It helps, but it's not the be all and end all. The only thing I would say these days in regards to the Premier League proven theory is that the Premier League is the most difficult league in the world. And obviously there's more weight on that now, because obviously players playing in the Premier League is very difficult to play in the Premier League. It's incredibly difficult to play in the Premier League. And we're looking at Mbeumo and Cunha, 2 of our star players this season, by the way. We're looking at Mbeumo and Cunha. They were Premier League proven, and it helps. It does help. Of course, but you do not reject players from around the world just because they're not Premier League proven. Absolutely. It is a balance. You have to think about that. Semenyo would have been an ideal. He would have been. Man United had the money to spend on him. Of course, they had 62 million to spend on Semenyo, but you know what? Didn't happen, did it? Absolutely. Geordie, I would love to see Morgan Rogers at United. Big fan. I am as well, Geordie. Absolutely. I would have Rogers over Palmer. Who are you picking, Sal? Rogers or Palmer? My goodness me. Both of them? Can I have both of them? One thing I would say is that they're absolutely magnificent players. Rogers is a brilliant player, game changer. I would say that Rogers is more of a winger. I would say he comes off the left side. He would be a brilliant signing for Man United. I actually think that he will be a better signing than Yandi Amande. More expensive, of course, but because he's Premier League proven. But I say that Cole Palmer is an absolute world-class worldie. He is. I think that he's got the potential to be whatever he likes. If his attitude is the right thing. Of course, we have to be a little bit concerned about Cole Palmer's injury record. We have to be concerned about that because obviously he has had a bit of injuries over the last year or so. But when I'm watching Cole Palmer and I see him in the Euros final against Spain, and I think that guy's got a mentality. The way he swept that ball into the back of the net in the Euros final, that's a good mentality for me. That shows me elite mentality. And I think that's very important. But Morgan Rogers and Cole Palmer are fantastic players, and I wouldn't say no to either of them. Absolutely not, because they're brilliant players. Absolutely. And Premier League proven, of course. Premier League proven was made up by Sky whenever they want to sell a player to United. It was actually made up by Alex Ferguson. Alex Ferguson did mention about Premier League proven is very important. He did actually mention it. It wasn't made up by Sky. Sky know F all about Premier League proven and stuff. Alex Ferguson always used to mention players that are played in the Premier League and that you need a spine that are used and used to the intensity of the Premier League. Alex Ferguson used to say that a lot, fan, to be fair. Sal, if we can't win the title, I don't see either Arsenal or City lifting anything. I'm surprised no one is mentioning Villa, who with a chance. I'd rather favourite up Villa rather than I would rather Villa than those two bums as well, V. But they're not going to do it, Aston Villa. They're not. They're falling. They're gonna decline, mate. They're gonna fall out the top 5. That's my prediction. They're declining. They've got injuries, and they ain't got the squad. I think that Aston Villa are a top 4 side. They've done very well. Unfortunately, they don't have the experience. I just can't see them. I actually think Man United are going to leapfrog Aston Villa. I think Man United are going to leapfrog Aston Villa, and it's going to be between Chelsea, Aston Villa, and Liverpool for that top 5 positions. That's what I think. Geordie, Calvin Phillips is no thank you. Yeah. Used to be a decent player, not anymore. 2 proven midfielders and 2 up front coming youngsters in the midfield would be ideal. Absolutely, Tuesday. That'd be brilliant. Absolutely. I would agree. As much as I hate City, I would prefer them winning a league, keeping it in Manchester, Arsenal. I would prefer them to win it, keeping it in Manchester. Arsenal fans are insufferable. Fan, no. Man United fans never want Man City to win a league. As much as we find Arsenal fans insufferable, it shows a weakness if we get swayed and we get emotional about Arsenal fans. Arsenal fans are insufferable, absolutely. But Manchester City are a rival, fan. They are our rival. We don't like Manchester City. And if Manchester City win the league, they're going to go out there, spend another 500 million, and they're going to win a couple of more titles, and then they're going to get closer and closer to our tally. They've already taken our treble. I don't like Arsenal. I've been raised in London. I know all about Arsenal, and so it should be me. I don't think you understand that Man City is a rival. Arsenal are a competitor. They used to be a competitor of Man United. And in all fairness, forget about the fans. I'm from London. I know Arsenal fans, and I'm the one speaking sense here. Forget about Arsenal fans for a second, right? Forget about them. Man United and Arsenal elevated each other in the 90s. We fought against each other tooth and nail. We elevated each other. I would thank Arsenal for our treble. I tell you that right now, because the way that we competed with Arsenal, it kept us on our toes, and it kept us fighting to the very end, right until the end of the season. So I have a respect for Arsenal Football Club. I don't have a respect for the fans. I have respect for Arsenal Football Club. No, I do not want Man City to win the league. Absolutely not. I do not care about if it's kept in Manchester. That doesn't matter, at the end of the day. I think that fans from around the world need to understand this, right? They need to do their research and understand what we're talking about. It's not about, I don't like the fans because the fans banter me. Oh, so what? That's life. I'll banter them if we win it. That's life. We have to be very, very careful what we say. I do not want Man City to win the league. I'm a Man United fan. Man City are our direct rivals. So are Liverpool, along with them. I do not want them to win a league. I know Man City fans. I know there's not as many of them, but they are smug as hell. They are smug. They are arrogant. They are even worse than Arsenal fans. I can have a decent conversation with an Arsenal fan. I can't with a Man City fan. Man City fans get all defensive and stuff, Shoes Daily, no, City shouldn't win. They never be toppled if they win. They are the ropes. It will be hit them. Manchester is red. Thank you, Shoes Daily. At the end of the day, if Manchester City win the league, they are going to go out there and spend another bunch of money, right? That they're going to pull away. If Man City don't win the league, if they don't win the league, then they're going to have 2 years without a title, and they're going to be against the ropes, like Shoes Daily said. Do I think they will win the league? I think they will win the league. I'll be honest. I think Man City will win the league. Do I want them to win the league is the question. No, I do not want Man City to win the league. Absolutely zero chance I want Man City to win the league. I hate Arsenal with my passion. I do not like Arsenal. I do not like the fans. I do not like Ty. I do not like all of them smuggets. I don't. But one thing's for certain. I will say this out of respect to Arsenal. Arsenal built their success organically. Arsenal built their success through success. Man City giving it in their hands. Man City couldn't care less about Manchester United. They couldn't give a effing hell about Man United. Nothing. They don't care about Man United. They would step on Man United. They would erase Man United from history if they could, because they know, Man City, that Manchester will always be red. It would always be red, no matter what. But what we have to do is protect our record. 20 times Man United. That's what we want to keep. We don't want to get into. They already took our treble. I know it's not as glorified as our treble, but they already took our treble. We can't let them take another thing of ours, which is the league titles. And they're getting close, guys. They will get closer. right? I would have never believed in my wildest dreams that Man City would be on this many Premier League titles. Absolutely not in my wildest dreams, right? And look where they are, you know. And if we carry on like this with this blasé attitude about Man City and let Man City keep winning and winning and winning, as a Manchester United fan, that worries me. And I think that's wrong. I think that, no, I'd rather Arsenal win it. At least Arsenal are a proper football team. You know, at least Arsenal of history. And I would say that, you know, and at least Arsenal, we have a history of rivalry. Proper one. Big up, Sanjay. Guys, smash the likes on the way in, guys. If you guys can do that for me, it'd be absolutely fantastic. Thank you so much. When's the match preview? I'm deciding whether to do it today or I might do it at the weekend. We're not playing until Monday, so obviously we've got time. Obviously, I'm going to do it when Michael Carrick has his press conference and stuff. Jordy, Benfica have got a young talent there calling a baby Drogba, Cabal, or something like that. I know who you mean. I've forgotten his name as well, Jordy. But yeah, I know who you mean. And Man United need to scout these players, absolutely. I'm a big fan of Rodrigo Moura, who plays for Porto. I think he's absolutely brilliant. I think he's brilliant. And I think Man United need to be looking at these players as well. Absolutely. Obviously, there was a question that was posed to me the other day that you know, Portuguese players have not done well in the Premier League recently. In the past, obviously, Portuguese players have done well. But recently, Portuguese players haven't done as well in the Premier League. So it's coming from the Portuguese league. Absolutely. We should steal Bellingham from Real Madrid. He's the ideal place for Casemiro. I don't know. He's more of an attacker than a number 6, mate. I don't think he's a number 6, and he doesn't want to play a number 6, and he's going to cost 100 million. I'm trying to understand the current and recent communication difficulties I've been experiencing with YouTube, specifically from the UK. Part 2 follows. I'm trying to understand the current recent communication difficulties I am experiencing with YouTube, particularly from the UK. What's going on, mate? Gregory, is that a copy and paste merchant? What's going on? Yora and Baleba, absolutely. Oh, yeah, Jordi, Yora and Baleba. We definitely need 3 midfielders, a striker, 2 centre-backs, and a winger to challenge on all fronts in the Premier League, an FA Cup, and the Champions League. Depth, Christian, I don't know about 2 centre-backs. We've got enough centre-backs, I think. we got enough. We got Lenny Yoro, Aiden Heaven, Delict, Licha Martinez. We've got Fredrickson and Kolungi coming through the ranks as well. Mazraoui can play there as well. We got enough centre-backs. There'll be waste of money, my guy. Christian. Gregory, your country should not be affected by the Starlink satellite shutdown over Europe by Elon Musk. Are you affected by this? I don't know what you're talking about. You're copy and pasting something, Gregory, on my channel, mate. What's going on? Ephraim. So it worries me that Manchester United are saying we do not care about Baleba performance. They are obsessed with him. Yeah, because he's easy, mate. Because he's easy and he's desperate. That's what we have to look at. We have to look at this realistically, guys. The only reason that Man United are going after Carlos Baleba is because he's easy and desperate. You know, and hoping that he comes good. Guys, my preference would be Anderson and let's hope for the best. Absolutely, Shoes Daily. That would be mine as well. Spot on. Great minds think alike. Thank you so much, Shoes Daily. I agree with that. Absolutely. Morning, Sal. Morning, Mandem. How you doing, my friend? We keep big up yourself. How you doing, brother? We kept on mentioning that the club should buy Baleba, but with recent evidence of how consistently inconsistent he is, he's not consistent at all. He's not playing well at all. We moved on from him, and other people should also do the same. I think that is true, Mandem. I think you're absolutely right. Sometimes you just say, well, he's not quite the player that I thought he was. Let's move on. I think that sometimes you just have to admit, hold your hands up, and that's about it, I think. Absolutely. Guys, absolutely. I had Wayne Rooney on my avatar for years. It's still on my alternative YouTube account. Big up Gregory Burke. Don't know what Gregory. What's going on, Gregory? Very off topic, my guy. We have a chance of getting Anderson, Tonali, Gamarish, Stiller, Wharton, who are better options. If Baleba joins, has the same performances he has with Brighton, people will turn on him quickly. I think they will. And, you know, I think many of us, guys, Mandem, I think many of us will be saying, well, we told you so, didn't we? And we don't want to be like that. We don't want to be, we told you so merchants. But this is what it's going to be, isn't it? Oh, we told you so. We knew about Baleba before we signed him. Yeah, blah, 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 blah. You know, we are obviously whoever signs for Man United will support him. But, you know, it's a big risk, you know. Good morning, Tybog. How you doing, you legend? How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Mandem. Big up, Mandem. Hey, my friend. Thank you so much, Mandem. You legend. Come on, guys. 73 watching and only 26 likes. Guys, it needs to be up to 50 likes. Come on, guys. Let's get those likes up. I've got 80 in the house at the moment. Let's get the likes up, guys. Thank you so much. That ratio is so bad. Let's get the likes up to a minimum 50 likes and kindly subscribe if you are new. Thank you so much, Mandem. Guys, you will not regret it. This is the place to be. Every single Monday, 7 a.m. I know there are other content creators, big content creators now, trying to release videos at 7 a.m. in the morning, UK time, because they're looking at our community and they want a piece of our community, guys. That's what they're doing. So let's keep it up. Let's keep it up and let's keep smashing those likes, because this is the only real live show at 7 a.m. UK, guys. It's the real one. Let me tell you that right now. That's why the biggest content creators are releasing content at 7 a.m., even though it's not live, to try and get a piece of our community, guys. They're not going to win. Absolutely. Big up yourself. Absolutely. Kenny, finally, Premier League is back for us. We're playing on Monday night. I mean, Kenny, it's Tuesday for us, isn't it? You know, it's at midnight for me, kickoff, Monday night / Tuesday morning. Absolutely. Gregory, this is my alternative account with Wayne Rooney avatar. Big up, Gregory. Big up, Gregory. Keep as many accounts as you like, mate. I don't mind. It doesn't matter. As to the numbers. Big up yourself, Gregory. Absolutely. Hey, morning, LB. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Absolutely. Got to move on for Blaber. Kenny, big up. I have to agree, man. I really do. Morning, Sam, my guy. Big up, Marcus. Big up, my bro. Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Big up, Gregory. Of course, absolutely. Guys. Sal Dalot, Wesley from Roma. Wesley's a brilliant player, Geordie. That would be a massive upgrade. Obviously, there's talk about the West Ham player. What's his name? Diouf, is it? Absolutely brilliant fullback. I think we've got a poor fullback. You know, when I look at Dalot, I think he does need to replace. I think Wesley's a brilliant player, Geordie. Good shout. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, Geordie. My only issue with our recruitment is that I can't trust them to find hidden gems, because I think they only go obvious players who many teams want. Only Dorgo and Lemens are hidden gems. I agree with you there, LT. This is a big issue. We shouldn't be going for being tunnel visioned in our scouting. And it does seem like that we are a little bit tunnel vision. Now, many of us were talking about Rayan of Bournemouth, of course, the striker who's gone to Bournemouth and absolutely smashing it at the moment. And many of us were earmarking Rayan to be a Man United striker and a backup Man United striker. And we didn't get him. And he would have been cheap. Now he's valued about 100 million. You see what I mean? And I think that what Man United need to do, we need to look at players like Lamine Kamara, these kind of players, and sign these kind of players, Buadi, Said El Mala, these kind of players, and look at these players and think, yeah, these are the next ones through. Let's take a risk on them, as well as buying the popular ones as well, the ones that are already made, is buy those players as well underneath, because we are a little bit tunnel vision. City earned the plastic treble. Absolutely. Aaron Lennon was a Premier League proven player. Yeah, he was a good player, fan for Tottenham, but that's nothing. So was Robbie Fowler, Premier League proven. So was David Ginola. So was Les Ferdinand. So was Alan Shearer. All Premier League proven. Doesn't mean anything. But Premier League proven is important. It is important. Just like La Liga proven, Serie A proven, it is important. You don't throw shade over what's important in the Premier League, because our best players in Premier League era have been Premier League proven. Even Cantona. So let's look at that. They were Cantona, Andy Cole, Dwight York. Yeah, there's some that we got who was exceptional, but Premier League proven is important. We must not discount that. But it's not the absolute. You can look at things from both sides of things. You can look at things from it's important, but it's not the be all and end all. Do you know what I mean? Like that. Not, it doesn't matter. It's not important. Premier League proven. It is. Premier League is the most difficult league in the world. You know what I mean? You can tell that from when Scott McTominay and players went that to Serie A and absolutely killing it, because it's easy. You know what I mean? They have to. Man City should not be winning this damn league. I'm not convinced. They will. Shoes Daily. Those who watched 90s and 2000s know all about rivalry between United and Arsenal, but we had mutual respect. Exactly. It was fierce, but we had mutual respect. Shoes Daily, you're right. And those people who not witnessed this understand that if it wasn't for Arsenal and it wasn't for Man United rivalry, we would not have elevated each other to the levels that we elevated each other, and still the two best teams in Premier League history, right? In that period right there. I would argue that with anyone, not your Man Cities, not your Arsenals of now, Liverpools of now. Back then, Arsenal, Man United number one, Arsenal number two, of the two best teams in Premier League history. I'm talking about between 1998 and 2003-ish. That period right there where we elevated each other to the absolute maximum, which led to Man United winning a treble, by the way. People think that we would have won a treble if we didn't win that FA Cup semi-final against Arsenal and had to give our absolute everything to win that. What did that FA Cup final FA Cup semi-final do for Man United when we beat Arsenal in the FA Cup semi-final at Villa Park? It gave us a belief. It gave us a mentality. It gave us a mentality. That's what it did. And I would say that I have respect for Arsenal. I don't like the fans, of course. I've been raised with Arsenal fans, guys. People don't understand. I was raised with them. I know how smug they haven't changed. That's why I say Arsenal fans are born with Arsenal-nitis. And Arsenal-nitis has symptoms of grandeurs of delusion, and things like that. And they are born with that. That's why they are. But one thing you have to understand about Arsenal fans is that you can have a conversation with an Arsenal fan. I can have a conversation with an Arsenal fan, right? But with Man City, talk to a Man City fans. They get so defensive. As soon as you start talking about Man United, but they start crying and throwing their rattles at their pram. That's what they do. Arsenal fans, you could just laugh at them. All right, mate. Yeah, right. That's a good Champions League. Nice one. You know what I mean? You can do that with them. Man City fans, they are, a lot of them are glory hunters anyway. But the ones who've been supporting Man United Man City since they were at Main Road, they've got this complex where they think they're superior because they witnessed the Championship and they witnessed League One, right? And I don't think anyone should be wanting Man City to win the league. Honestly, I don't care about banter. I don't care about how Arsenal fans are. It doesn't bother me. I don't care because at the end of the day, Man United need to look after ourselves anyway, and we need to look after how we're going to be successful in the future. Tybo, I can't even imagine there are Man United fans out there wishing City to win the league over Arsenal. It's just not. It's just not that they are City rivals, but they are part of the destruction of football in general. Tybo, absolutely. They are the reason that we need a big billionaire owner. They are the reason that we have FFP and PSR. They are the reason. They're the reason. Them, Man City are the reason that we are having all these problems at the moment with finance and stuff like that. Fan, then you don't understand about Man United. Sorry, brother, but you don't understand Man United. You're worried about fans. I'm not worried about fans. City were nothing 15 years ago, and within 5 years, their inevitable sale will come. Future date by Sheikh Mansour. City will become nothing again. I hear it, but absolutely no respect for Man City who have been away of those fraudulent charges. No respect at all. You should have been there during the Arsene Wenger days, absolutely. When Van Nistelrooy missed that famous penalty and then the revenge next season. Fun times, but we respected them. We did. We respected each other. I respected Patrick Vieira. I respected Dennis Bergkamp. I respected Jose Reyes. I respected Sylvian Wiltord and Tony Adams and Martin Keown and Nigel Winterburn and Paul, Dixon and David Seaman and Manuel Bettini and Ray Parler and, I respected all these players. All of them. Robert Perez. Brilliant players. Thierry Henry. All brilliant players. I respected them all. I can name Arsenal's team right now. That's how big it was, the rivalry. Dixon, Winterburn, Seaman, Keown, Campbell, Bettini, Vieira, Perez, Parler, Bergkamp, Anelka or Henry or Wiltord. I can name the whole squad. I can name the whole team because that is what the rivalry was. We knew about each other. We studied each other and we knew that, you know what, this is going to be a difficult game. This game is going to be a difficult game. You know what I mean? This is going to be a game. This is a game. This is what. But Arsenal elevated. I don't care about Arsenal fans. I'll be honest. I don't care. They win the league. Fair play to them. Congratulations. You deserved it. That's all I'm going to be. And then I'll be focused on Man United winning the league the next season. And that's what I will be thinking about. Man United now. How are we going to get that title back from them? But I don't think Arsenal will win it. I don't. I think Man City will win it. It's disgraceful, but I think Man City will win it. But we have to think about, we have to put away our mentality of fans and getting shook by fans and getting upset by fans. This is football. It's banter. Who cares, man? You're champions. Well done, mate. You deserved it. Congratulations, pal. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, we have to look at ourselves. You don't think Man City are going to be like that? Guys, I don't care about what fans do. Actually adds to the atmosphere and stuff like that, Tyborg. Absolutely. I have absolutely no respect to teams like Chelsea, Newcastle, PSG, RB Leipzig, and all fake products of damage. Football tradition and history should always be above money. It's true, but I don't respect Man United and Alex Ferguson for getting the Glazers in either, because that's worse. I would say that, Tyborg. Their ownerships are better than our ownerships. We've got the worst kind of ownership in football. It's actually the Glazers and that who are destroying football. Right? It's actually them who are destroying football. It's actually, I tell a lie, it's actually the Glazers and that, those people are destroying football, not the likes of PSG, RB Leipzig, and Chelsea and that, because at the end of the day, just but what? Because they're Arab, Tybo. They're putting money into those football teams. They're not taking money out. Man United shouldn't have respect, because Man United let this guy take charge of their football team. I know that we were successful before, but we have the worst ownership out of all of those people. Out of all of those people, we have the worst ownership, Tybo. We have to have that type of ownership now. That's just the way it is. But the ownerships like with Chelsea, City, Newcastle, PSG, RB Leipzig, all those are better than our owners. Jim Ratcliffe, those are the people destroying football. Jim Ratcliffe and the Glazers, those are the people. We need an Arab owner. We need a billionaire owner, because they actually put money into the football club. You know, it's just the way football's going. We may not like it, but it's just the way the football club's going. My argument is, I don't have no problem with people getting billionaires in charge. My problem is that Man City were not nobody before they had their billionaire owners. They were nobody. Newcastle was somebody. So were Chelsea, you know, as well. Chelsea were winning cup winners' cups and things like that before their owner Abramovich came in. But Abramovich was actually a good owner, and I think he did a lot for the Premier League. But when I think about Man City, it's not so much about, you know, the way they owned and this, that, because they're owned brilliantly, guys. They're owned brilliantly. I don't care about 115 charges, because they get away with it. They're owned brilliantly. They get their job done. You know, so I have no bones about that. But they can't turn around to me and say that they earned it, because they didn't earn it. The only thing is that the likes of Man City have made it necessary now. They've created a FFP PSR sort of mentality at the end of the day, you know. But I respect their owners, because their owners put money into the club, not a good old Jim Ratcliffe, Jim Immigration, and things like that, where we're turning into Millwall, a glorified Millwall. You know what I mean? Heard Baltimore, they want Newcastle exit. Probably no Champions League. Will Arsenal bottle it? I think they will. Retro Gradad, absolutely. It's not copying and pasting anything. So I've been experiencing several minutes of interruption during. You're writing some weird things. I couldn't understand it because it's off topic. So sorry, Gregory. I don't know. I didn't understand what you're on about, man. Absolutely. Manchester United don't earn competition in the transfer window. Whoever is there as a one-horse race target, United should go for them, i.e. Baleba. Who is Manchester United don't like competition in the transfer. Yeah, exactly that. That's why they want Baleba. It's easy. I actually think they've already agreed with Baleba anyway. I actually think that. Thank you so much, Paul. You're a legend. Big up, Paul. Thank you, man. Really appreciate that. Peep the game, guys. Peep the game. People uploading videos now at 7 a.m. just to try and get the community. This community is great. It's the best. Brilliant. 17 likes and 50, guys. Absolutely. Irfan, one thing I will say, Irfan, to you, my friend, my good brother. One thing I will say to you, I want there to come a time when we're in for the league, because I'm fed up with this. I'm tired of prefer this, prefer that. I don't want him to win a league. I don't want that to win a league. I want there to be a time when I look at Man United and that's it. You know what I mean? I think, yeah, we're challenging for the league. 7 likes of 15. Is that it? 17. Bloody hell. Guys, smash a like on the video. Let's get to 50 likes today, guys. Thank you so much. Absolutely. We've got 83 in the house, guys. Let's smash a like, guys. It doesn't cost anything. Please do that for me. Absolutely. I still believe if we keep pushing ahead, we can challenge for the title. If we win our game in hand, we're only 10 points behind. Anything is possible, Albie, in football. Unlikely, but possible. I feel the thing is that if Man United beat West Ham, if buts and maybes, if we can't beat West Ham, these are the games that we're supposed to beat, by the way, West Ham, then I don't see us challenging, because we're going to go away to Newcastle. Yeah, does anyone think we're going to win away at Newcastle and Chelsea? Let's be honest. I hope we do, We haven't won at Newcastle since Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. We haven't won at Chelsea in 6-7 years. Man United can challenge for titles, absolutely. But the reason we're not qualified to challenge for titles, and it's not Ruben Amorim's fault, but we have games like the West Ham game. And we've had the West Ham game twice. We drew against West Ham twice. We drew against Fulham. We drew against Bournemouth. Drew against Wolves. These are the games that Man United have problems with, you know? Tyberg. Bundesliga abandoned Monday night games. They introduced it in 2021, but it only lasted for one season. After huge demonstrations from fans, how can you visit a game on Monday when you work on a Thursday? Man United and Premier League still has games on Monday. You know? I don't agree with big teams like Man United playing on Monday. I agree with Tyborg here. I don't agree with big teams like Man United playing on a Monday. I don't. I think Man United should play at the weekend, every weekend, because we're the biggest. It's the same, but I think Friday night's better than Monday. Friday night's better than Monday. Why don't we play on a Friday night? Why do we have to play on a Monday? I know that obviously timing and this and that, but we ain't had no games all week. Everton and Man United. So why don't we play on a Friday? If they want to move it. You know, Bayern play on a Friday sometimes. You know, we do need to get Friday. Marcus, Ineos are not United pedigree. If so, they would understand that not allowing Man City to win and buy top players is part of the draw. That's DNA. Absolutely. We win trophies and prevent our rivals from success, but Ineos are idiots. Absolutely, Marcus. Spot on. I agree. Of course. I agree with most of you guys most of the time. They screwed around last summer and gave us a 4 out of 10 window. Absolutely. I have no faith they'll get it right this time. It'll be a bit like walking into hell blindfolded and expecting not to get burned, isn't it, Marcus, in regards to Ineos and that? If anyone believes them, they're absolutely fools, you know. Sanjay, I'm waiting for Pep to leave City. Let's wait what happens. Of course. Any updates on De Ligt at the moment, Mandem? None. Really weird in regards to Matthias De Ligt, of course, had a fantastic season before he got injured. I'm concerned. He has a back injury. And I don't know how serious this back injury is. Apparently, De Ligt will be back for the Newcastle game, apparently, around that time, maybe in a couple of weeks. Apparently, he's not far away. So that's what we're hearing, but we heard that before. Absolutely. If I choose Arsenal or City, I want Arsenal to win all day. It's sad that our owners makes us think like this. I missed when we were competing. Ephraim, it is sad. Exactly this. You know, it is sad. Absolutely. Guys, absolutely. Tyborg, as Arsenal as a club is all right, but the fans seem like a traumatized group. Yeah, they're not well, so I feel sorry for them. Like dogs barking through a fence, but keeping quiet without the fence. Exactly that. Great analogy, Tyborg. Spot on. I agree with Tyborg here. I do. I think he's absolutely right. I do think that. I think that as well. Then they're harmless. They're harmless. Oh, yeah, now that Kenny mentioned it, what's the outcome with the 1-1 Not even one deducted point to cut on the case closed yet? I think, you know what I would say about Villa, I've no faith in the system in the Premier League in England. I have no faith in it. I don't think they're going to punish Man City. No. If Man City get away with it, what can you say, V? All you can say is, well done. They got away with it. Why are we being so goody-goody two-shoes? Why are we, FFP or PSR? It's because we don't want to spend any bloody money. That's why, you know, and at the end of the day, Man City get away with it. They got away with it. They found a loophole. They got away with it. And what can we do? I'm not, at the end of the day, you know, when did we turn so nice? Why are we to the book all of a sudden and making sure everything is in line? You know, at the end of the day, and this is what annoys me about it. I can't say nothing about their 115 charges because at the end of the day, I expected as such that nothing's going to be done about it because the way Man City function, the way the Middle East functions, the way Qatar functions, they're smarter. They're actually smarter than Jim Ratcliffe and that. They're actually smarter than them, you know, and they know how to wing their way through things, and they have, and you have to honestly, you have to applaud it. You really do. Imagine arguably the best Premier League player of all time on their team. They couldn't win a Champions League. Dennis Bergkamp had constant battles with Roy Keane. You cannot think about one player without their rival. Absolutely. It was a proper rivalry, guys. It was a proper rivalry. Arsenal and Liverpool are both our rivals because we are organic clubs that made English football rich history. Man City is a manufactured, and it is what we're talking about because about not wanting Man City to win. Man City is manufactured, and this is what we're talking about, not managed exactly. No, they're also our big rivals, mate, and they don't like us. Proper rivals, hatred rivals. You know, they're like Liverpool. For Glazers, they want wins on the spreadsheet, not on the pitch. Absolutely. Absolutely, of course. Big up Revert 7. How you doing? Long time, my friend. Hope you're doing well. Chelsea are a small club in southwest London. Before they won the lottery, they were nothing. I wouldn't say nothing. They won the Cup Winners' Cup. They won the FA Cup. They won the League Cup. They were a cup team. They won things. You know, they won things. Yeah, they did. All right. During the period of 1999-2000, they were actually challenging for the league for a period. But obviously, Man United and Arsenal went in. They weren't a championship club. You know, they weren't. Chelsea had players like Dan Petrescu and Vialli and Marcel Desailly. You know what I mean? Gianfranco Zola and Dennis Wise. They had a good team, man. They had a good team. You know, they were a Premier League team. Abramovich moved them up. I would say, if I was to equate what Chelsea were, they're above Tottenham. They're better than Tottenham are now. I would say that. I would say it's a hard one. It's a hard one. Put the Manchester back in Manchester. What a certified A-grade clown. Only thing he did was putting holes in employees' rice bowl and flattening a Glazer's poet for the next out. Exactly. It's something that we mentioned a long, long time ago, guys. Absolutely. You know, but people wanted them, didn't they? Every time I've watched Brighton this season, Baleba has been poor and hooked off. He must have been amazing last season to be worth 70 million. Yeah, he was good last season. He was good at Lille as well. The problem is that doesn't matter in football. You can only go by this season, innit? We can't be nostalgic and think about what happened then. Albie, thank you for becoming a member, you legend. Absolute legend. Thank you for becoming a member again, by the way. I remember you. Thank you, Albie, for your support for the channel. Really appreciate you. Absolutely. And welcome to the family. I think we can win against Chelsea, of course. Maybe. I think it's difficult away from home. We haven't won there in 6 years. When Pep leaves City, their Premier League dominance will end, hopefully. I hope so, Revert 7. I hope so as well, mate. I do hope so as well. It'd be funny. It will be funny. Absolutely. Absolutely. I was talking about Bayern when big up Tybog. I was talking about the sold Delict. They told me he's injury prone. And must be sold at the time. So yeah, I spoke to a Bayern fan, Tyberg, about Delict and Mazraoui. And I agree. They told me that they are injury prone because last season they were doing pretty well. You know, people forgot about their injury proneness, you know. Arsenal are, big up Gregory, big up Tyberg, legend. Arsenal are on 22 season drought since their most recent return. I have confidence that Arsenal will bottle it again this season. I do. They will bottle it, mate. I'm telling you right now. The way they played against Wolves, the way they sat back, they're asking for trouble. They really are. Guys, 11 more needed, guys. Guys, smash that like on the way out, guys. Look, we've got 67 in the house now. At least guys, we need a few more. Some of you haven't smashed a like. Smash a like, guys. Thank you, Albie. Guys, big up Kenny, big up fan, big up everyone in the chat. Great chat, great conversation. You know what I mean? This is a great community. Guys, remember that. Absolutely. This is the only live show at 7 a.m. UK, guys, for football news. I know that big channels want to release their content at 7 a.m. to get some of our community on board, guys. Absolutely. Of course they do. You know what I mean? The show, like, guys, people are never happy with their big communities. You know what I mean? We're building our community and we're going to keep growing, guys. Absolutely. Thank everyone, guys. Have a great day, great evening, great night, wherever you are in the world, guys. I'm Sal Warner. This is Breaking Dawn. I'll see you a bit later. Take it easy, guys. Have a great day. Peace. Thanks, Tyborg. Legend. Take it easy. Peace.